Tiny Time-Traveling Terror by Trips Out 2. Cover by Bungle. Audiobook reading by Lexicon94. Chapter 1. Crony stops counting seconds. Every tick in her head was a method of decorum. Organization of minutes and months was but a second skin for her. She's been that way since the beginning, since it was just her, before Bay and Sana appeared, before the rest of Council formed. She'd be this way for eternity. What was the point of being so meticulous for so long? Ah, no, I'm fabulous, she thinks. She lets that thought linger, a dry smirk on her face. She could be immaculate as she wants to be. The march of time will steal everything from her. The burden of time was hers. The burden to know everything and its place in her life was always going to be hers. There were no surprises. She would live forever until the universe expanded into infinity and her essence becomes meaningless. It was a future where Mume and Fauna were far gone, where chaos was not but a memory, where nothing but particles and darkness remained until even Sana would be struggling to hold a form in a blank, infinite space. Crony closes her eyes. What is time to that? What is she, an avatar of time, its jailer? What is she to that? Time will march without her. It doesn't need a warden. It starts with a fray in a single timeline. Crony observes it from her spot, from her place between the flows of time. She's observing everything vigilantly. Millions of timelines were at her fingertips, billions more on the back burner, trillions beyond that to be looked at later. An ever-growing list of responsibilities that repeat itself day in and day out. It was a little seam, a loose thread that needed mending. A timeline that was wearing old, but not at the end of its lifespan, not even remotely close. Crony eyes the loose thread. It wouldn't be a problem to fix it up. But what was the point of fixing something that was starting to wear out now? Why even bother with it if all it's going to do is die? She turns her gaze away and continues her work. One timeline becomes 20. She's ignoring them, and she's doing it fantastically in her opinion. Some of them are falling into disrepair. An inky splatter on a few informs her of time anomalies, broken fractures of those seams that leak into the time itself and start devouring it from the inside out. Good, she thinks dryly. Good riddance. She loses count after 56, but that's such paltry numbers compared to the millions she has to look after daily. She rolls her eyes. If they want it to break and fall apart, they can damn well do so. Through the flow of time, there are special artifacts. Many of these are kept for safekeeping. Many are broken, items too damaged by gods or other entities to be of any use other than an antique. A grandfather clock floats in her realm. Its origins are unknown, but it has the ability to tell the time of any timeline she asks of it. It's useful for mundane things, but Crony rarely has to consult the bruised old thing. A wristwatch floats by her, but she doesn't give it any mind. Wherever it ends up isn't a big deal. Its only power is prolonging wakefulness. Crony values her sleep, thank you very much. Such a thing is extremely useless to her. An alarm clock is nearby, but that's literally just her alarm clock. There's nothing special about it. And a golden watch. Its chain shiny and new. She eyes it critically because she can't recall what its power is or what it's used for. Another to be ignored and forgotten, she thinks. She bats it away over her shoulder. Wherever it ends up isn't her problem. Amelia is an adventurer today. Well, she's technically a junior investigator. According to the bureau or whatever. She's a child prodigy, okay? She can get away with all kinds of mischief, and they'd coo at her and give her candy. Suckers, all of them. But she's not there today. She's behind her aunt's apartment, scoping out the dumpsters for new exciting things. The first dumpster had turned up a beaten old teddy bear. She placed it on the ground to interrogate it, but had been pleasantly horrified to find out that a few maggots lived in its brain. Neat! The second dumpster rewarded her with a bunch of mulched-looking plants. She puts them in little baggies and examines them shrewdly. It looked like moss, but was horribly discovered from whatever chemicals it was eating in there. She wants to find every disease it has and then inject it into a worm, like now. Except there's a watch on the pavement. Amelia stares at it. It's way too pretty to be sitting by the dumpsters. Its golden shine says it's brand new, but if that were the case, someone must have dropped it. It didn't look damaged. It looked like it had been placed there on purpose. She squints down at it. A childish part of her wants to kick it and see what happens. Her aunt had told her not to be too curious since some stuff might be dangerous. Trust her intuition and not her impulses, she'd said. Amelia reaches down and grabs it. A shock of electricity makes her flinch. Her fingers loosen around the watch and she makes a hasty grab for the chain attached to it. It dangles from her fingers, the watch swaying back and forth almost hypnotically. When she lowers it into her palm, it's warm. Weird, Amelia breathes. It's working fine, too. She lifts it to her ear and delights in the ticking noise she hears. Weird! When she looks at it again, she could almost swear the glass was shining. She beams down at it. Much better than bear bugs. She stuffs it in her pocket and runs back home. Elsewhere, in between the flows of time, Crony feels a migraine coming on.